Hello everyone. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these 5 positive things about whatever, but around like the end of last year, December 31st, I started making all these things. Like I made a lime pie, it's a no-bake pie, and a lot of stuff. It got me wondering about that. So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys 5 positive things about cooking and baking. Oh, and also when I say cooking and baking, what I really mean is like when you do it yourself. Learning to cook for yourself is very important if you can do it. So the first thing is, this is kind of obvious, but preparing your own food in general is a very basic, essential life skill. Like you need food to survive, so if you can make your own food, then you survive. It's really not much more to it than that. And it's also good because you don't have to rely on people to cook your food. I mean, sometimes you need a break every once in a while, but if you know how to cook your own food, then it's good because you're not going to be looking in your refrigerator and being like, I have no food, which is basically, for some people, it's code for, I don't know how to cook. And that's why it's an important life skill that people should, well, I strongly recommend people know at least the basics of cooking. Doesn't mean you have nothing to eat. You just have to learn how to. I don't know where this is going, but it's an essential life skill and it's important. So the second positive thing about cooking and baking is that it allows you to be very creative. The story about how chocolate chip cookies were invented, that was a good, happy, creative accident, you know? And it's stuff like that with cooking because cooking is essentially a science when it comes down to it. We have all this knowledge of chefs and bakers of the past because I'm sure someone accidentally put like a cup of salt in something sweet and they're like, you know what, a teaspoon is fine, we don't need an entire cup of salt. I mean, unless you're making like a really big giant cookie, but that's different. But for the most part, you know, you can experiment with cooking. Someone at some point in history said, I wonder how chocolate and peanut butter would go together. Or I wonder how chocolate and caramel will go together. Or I wonder what happens if I put this tomato sauce on this bread and I put cheese and I put some salami on it. Just incredible dishes that people have all over the world is probably a result of someone just being, let's try this out and let's see what happens. So that's why cooking is good, for that kind of creativity. I'm so grateful for it. Moving on, the third positive thing about cooking and baking yourself, mostly, is that it makes you reliable. Let's say you're like in a relationship and your partner, they should not do all the cooking all the time. It's just helpful for both parties in like a two-person relationship to share the effort. You don't want just one person who knows how to cook. And also for parents who have like children, let's suppose that the parent who does know how to cook for some reason goes away, for any reason you can think of, and so only one parent is left with the child and that parent does not know how to cook. And let's suppose that the restaurants are closed for a reason and people can only go to the grocery store. So what's going to happen is that the child is either going to live on a diet of bread and maybe some peanut butter or something similar, or the parent, they can learn how to cook and be a reliable giver. Knowing how to cook and bake yourself makes you reliable to a lot of people around you. That was kind of sloppy, but doesn't matter. So I'm kind of in a hurry. So the fourth reason is oh, okay. The fourth reason is that food is probably the best gift you can give somebody. Like if you're celebrating their birthday or just something, just because baking them a cake or making them their favorite foods the right way. I mean, there is no right way, but I mean like making sure everything is at least cooked and not raw. Or even just like, I know this is about cooking and baking your own food, but even just like going to the store and their like favorite bag of chips or cookies or something, that can be good too. Because it just shows like some kind of thoughtfulness, you know? And finally, the fifth reason, and that is cooking and baking it's a really good bonding activity with people because you enjoyed making the food and then you get to, there's really only two reasons to enjoy it, just bonding and you get to enjoy the food. It's also, it can be a good memory for people if you're making something and you had a good time making it. So I hope that made sense. Yeah. So that was 5 positive things about cooking and baking. So that was, oh yeah, it's an essential life skill. It allows you to be creative. It makes you reliable. It's a great gift. And it helps you bond with people. So yeah, that's the 5 positive things about cooking and baking yourself. I think I'm going to try some more recipes out. So yeah, that was today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!